Straight ahead on WBKB News at 11, find out how a cow was used to raise money today for the Posen Citizens Academic Council. Plus, children showed off their Halloween costumes at the Alpena Mall in hopes to win a contest. And a group gathered for a flash mob at Colligan Plaza to raise awareness for a cause close to their hearts. We'll have those stories plus your local weather and sports. WBKB News at 11 starts now.
From Rogers City to Tawas City and all points in between, this is Northeast Michigan's award-winning news team. Your source for news, weather, and sports. We are WBKB News at 11.
In an effort to get music back in the area while raising money and having a good time, the Knights of Columbus and Alpena held a Sunrise Side Oktoberfest dinner and dance today. Good evening, I'm Ashley Reed. $12 a person covered hours of music, dancing, drinks, and a pork loin dinner. This was a first-year attempt of the Sunrise Side Oktoberfest featuring the Norm Cease Band, and a successful day it was. Over 150 people from as far as Maple City came to join in the fun.
Years ago in Alpena, we used to have a lot of dances. Now we don't have the dances like we used to, so we thought maybe we could give it a try and get it to start again.
About a month ago, the Norm Cease Band and Knights of Columbus decided they were going to partner and try this event. The band just celebrated their 65th anniversary. They played lots of Polish and German music to go along with the Oktoberfest theme. It is Norm Cease's goal to keep the Thunder Bay German-American club legacy alive in Alpena.
I like to see them get out there and happy and jump around and holler and hoot and holler, and we'll have a good time.
All of the money raised from this event goes to the Knights of Columbus for their different charities. The organization donates about $25,000 a year to the community. The Posen Citizens Academic Council hosted its second annual Fall Festival today at Posen Schools. The money raiser of the day was what they like to call a cow pie. For $20, people could purchase a ticket with a number on it between 1 and 200. A grid was drawn in a fenced-off area with each number 1 through 200 painted in the different squares. Once let out of the trailer, whichever numbered square the cow decided to do his duty on was the winner, and that ticket holder won $1,000. All 200 tickets were sold, generating a profit of $3,000. All the money raised from the cow pie and raffles will go towards new textbooks for Posen schools.
We wanted to do a community events to bring everyone in. Posen supports our school so much, and we wanted to kind of give back to the community. And, you know, if you want to buy tickets, you can. If not, you can just come and enjoy the day with your family.
Other activities included a luncheon, a haunted house, arts and crafts, and much more. Last year, the Posen Citizens Academic Council raised $25,000 throughout the year and were able to purchase new science books for kindergarten through 12th grade. This year, new math books have been purchased for grades 6 through 8, and the next goal is to purchase new high school math books. The current books are over 20 years old, and teachers have been having to research and make their own copies of learning material. The Alpena Mall was full of characters yesterday for HPC Credit Union's annual Spooktacular Kids Day. This is the 9th year HPC has held the event. The past 2 years have been Halloween themed. There were games, prizes, treats, and the biggest event of the day, the costume contest. Creativity shined through.
I'm a dead doll. I'm a monarch butterfly. I'm a pirate. I am Samantha and I'm a fairy. I'm a skeleton. A horse. I'm Max from Where the Wild Things Are.
I am a swamp monster.
I am Dorothy.
The costume contest had 3 different age groups. Children strutted their stuff on stage for the judges. The judging panel was made up of 3 community representatives. There was Sharon Cole from WATZ, Mayor Matt Wallagora, and WBKB's own Lindsay Idaluca.
It's all about the youth. You know, HBC Credit Union is a firm believer that youth is our future, and not only did we want to recognize our HBC Credit Union youth, but we wanted to do also the community youth. So just a community activity and fun for all.
Winners were McKenna Miller as Doc McStuffin in the 0 to 5-year-old category, Julian Frey as a magician in the 6 to 9-year-old category, and Ryan Brady as Skeletor in the 10 to 17-year-old category. Krent said HPC is all about people helping people, and that's exactly why the company held this free event. The Lake Superior State University Lakers invaded Northern Lights Arena in Alpena yesterday, but hockey wasn't the only thing going on. Lake Superior, as well as Alpena Community College and NOAA representatives set up program displays. Students of all ages could come find out about the different career opportunities through the school programs, as well as meet with admissions and transfer specialists from Lake Superior and ACC.
You can drive 3 hours to the south and go to a major university, or you can drive 2.5 hours and go to the north and go to Lake State. And you can start at Alpena Community College, transfer after 2 years at a great beginning, and move on.
Although Lake Superior is located in Sault Ste. Marie, David Finley, Dean of Business and Engineering at the school, says that the school supports the community of Alpena and kind of sees them as a partner.
It is a regional community. We draw many of our students from this area. Very pleased and excited to collaborate and do that, and place many of our alums in the Alpena area.
In addition to the academics, people could learn about NOAA and use the underwater ROV simulator. Kids also enjoyed getting on the ice to participate in some drills with the Lakers players. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and this year Shelter Incorporated in Alpena wanted to do something in the community different to raise awareness. After sitting and talking, the organization decided they wanted to do something different, something that didn't involve a huge event. So about 2 months ago, they decided to put together a flash mob. At noon yesterday, participants did a choreographed dance at Colgan Plaza in downtown Alpena to Kelly Clarkson's song Stronger. Bystanders stopped to see what the dancing was all about.
Domestic violence affects so many women and men, and it's an atrocity, I think, that doesn't get a lot of attention, and it's important to do something like this to raise that awareness around something fun, because we don't want to really take away from the atrocity of domestic violence, but at the same time, if we can all say, hey, you know what, we can relate, and we've been there, and we can celebrate now because we're not, then what's better awareness than that?
Williams says 1 in 3 women have suffered from domestic violence. Participants in the flash mob included Shelter Incorporated volunteers, friends, family, and other community members. Shelter Incorporated provides a vast array of services free of charge to assist those whose lives have been affected by domestic violence and sexual assault. Coming up next on WBKB News at 11, an unusual assistant is helping with a jail construction project. Plus, find out what one billionaire investor is pressuring Apple to do. Those stories and more after the break. Thanks for joining us. In state news, there's been a big jailbreak in West Michigan. The walls and bars are coming down in a cell block off the Kalamazoo County Jail as part of a construction project. Brock, a robot, is the newest worker at the Kalamazoo County Jail. The robot is there taking down the walls and the bench areas they had for inmates. 8 holding cells, solid cement from floor to ceiling, the walls 4 inches thick. The cells were so sturdy, jail bars had to be blown off. Brock, along with his operator, are making removing the mighty fortress a lot easier. The robot saves workers hours and hours of work, and it's much safer. Built in 1972, the holding area is going to be transformed into a modern housing facility for up to 40 inmates. The sheriff says more work on the new jail facility is needed before it's fully operational. Bringing Brock in is saving the county thousands of dollars. And now time for some of today's top financial stories with your Money Watch. Dozens of major corporations are set to reveal earnings reports in the coming days. Some of the higher profile companies include Facebook, drug maker Merck, and coffee giant Starbucks. Apple's profit report is expected to be one of the highlights of the week. Billionaire investor Carl Icahn is pressuring Apple to use some of its mounds of cash to buy back a huge chunk of its own stock. Some analysts expect Apple may announce another huge stock buyback or increase its dividend payout when it reports earnings. And beer companies are targeting women in hopes of brewing up some new business. SAB Miller, the world's second largest brewer, is testing a new line of lighter and sweeter beers. Executives are also planning new ad campaigns geared towards women. In Europe and the U.S., women make up roughly a fifth of all beer sales. GasBuddy.com and AAA of Michigan put together state and local gas prices. The highest price for gas in Alpena is coming in at $3.36 at Standard Express. The lowest is $3.28 at Admiral. Across the state, the highest gas price is $3.79 in Grosse Isle. The lowest price for gas in Michigan, a number I haven't seen around here for quite some time, $2.99 in Belding. There's still much more to come on WBKB News at 11. Shannon McGrath will be in with a look at sports, and I'll be right back to let you know what the weather is looking like this week. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It is time now for a look at the weather. Today, the high was 47 degrees. The normal high for October 27th is 51 degrees, so we were lower for this time of year. The record high for this day was 79 degrees back in 1927. Low today was 32 degrees, normal low 33, so we were lower for this time of year. Record low for this day was 16 degrees in 1936. Sunrise this morning was at 8:06 and sunset tonight around 6:29. Currently in Alpena, the temperature is at 45 degrees. It really feels like 41 degrees outside. Humidity at 60%. Taking a look at our satellite and radar, you can see that cloud coverage over northeast Michigan. Showers likely tonight. Most of the precipitation looks like it's to the northeast of us, but we will get hit a little bit later. Tonight, showers are likely. Cloudy, low of 35 degrees. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high of 38 degrees, north wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. And going into tomorrow night, mostly clear, 23 degrees for the low north winds at 5 miles per hour. Taking a look at our week ahead in our extended weather forecast, sunny on Tuesday, mostly sunny Wednesday, high of 47 on Wednesday. We're going to get all the way up to a high of 60 degrees on Thursday. However, periods of rain and possibly a thunderstorm. Friday and Saturday, a chance of showers back to a high of 48 degrees on Saturday. And now it's time for today's photo of the day. Today's photo was sent in by Ted Fines of Lincoln. Ted sends us this photo of Black River Beach. The sky looks absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Ted, for sending us this photo. If you have a photo you would like to send us, email a photo along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com. Now time for some of today's top medical stories with your Health Watch. People with high blood sugar may be more likely to have memory problems. A study out of Germany looked at older adults who did not have diabetes. Those with elevated blood sugar levels scored lower on memory tests. They also had less volume in the area of the brain that's important for memory. And researchers at Columbia University have figured out a way to grow new human hair follicles in the lab and then transplant them. That's an advance from previous methods that simply redistributed hair from one part of a scalp to the other. The technique has only been used on animals. Testing on people could be 5 years away. In national news, tributes are flying across social media tonight for Lou Reed. The rock and roll icon passed away this morning at his Long Island home. Reed's agent said the singer died from an ailment related to his recent liver transplant. He was 71 years old. CBS's Susan McGinnis has the story.
Lou Reed was the driving force behind the legendary cult band Velvet Underground. The band never achieved widespread commercial success, but many credit the group with revolutionizing rock in the 1960s and 70s and having a major influence on generations of future musicians. Take a walk on the wild side, and the other girls go. Walk on the Wild Side was his only top 20 hit, but songs like Sweet Jane and Pale Blue Eyes became Reed standards. The singer led the way as the Velvet Underground collaborated like none before with filmmakers and artists, including Andy Warhol.
And that's why the records sound the way they sound. That's why nothing got changed, because Andy said, you don't change anything, leave it alone.
The Velvet Underground was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1996. The New York native was an admitted hard drinker and drug user. He underwent a liver transplant earlier this year and later called himself a triumph to modern medicine. Susan McGinnis, CBS News.
The first Velvet Underground record sold only 30,000 copies in the first 5 years. Sports is coming up next, and Shannon McGrath's been keeping track of all of our games today. Shannon, what's ahead?
High school football's regular season might be over, Ashley, but the playoffs are just a couple days away. After the break, I'll show you which local teams made it and where they're going to play the first round games, plus show you if the Lions were able to beat statistics when they hosted the Cowboys this afternoon. Stay right here on WBKB News for all that and more. We'll see you in a second. Down in Detroit this afternoon, the Lions have only won 2 of their last 7 games against the Cowboys, but after losing last week's game in the final seconds, the Lions were hoping to give the home crowd a better ending. And what better way to start than with a Megatron connection? Matthew Stafford finding Calvin Johnson, putting the Lions up 7 in the last minute of the first. Dallas taking the lead with 50 seconds left in the half when Tony Romo finds Dez Bryant And in the fourth, Bryant would extend Detroit, the Dallas's lead once again with this 50-yard pass. But just when you think it's over, Calvin Johnson flirting with the goal line. And the very next play, Stafford clearly not tall enough for this jump, but no worries, his legs work just fine as the keeper ties the game in the final seconds, allowing Detroit to barely brush by Dallas, winning today 31-30.
To be able to come back, people leaving the stadium, nobody thought we could pull it off in 1 minute, but we got some firepower and 9 was on point.
But this team's got a lot of resiliency, guys. Believe in each other and feel like we're never out of a game, and we proved that today.
Moving to the high school gridiron, high school's football postseason is 6 days away, and 7 local teams getting good news this evening, starting in Division 8 action. Atlanta heading west on 32 to Johannesburg Lewiston for its first playoff game, while Hillman will make the long trip up to the UP facing St. Ignace. Undefeated Alcona will play host in its first game of the postseason with a visit from McBain, while Whittemore Prescott will hit the road looking for a round 1 win after losing its final game of the regular season. Wrapping up 11-man action, Mayo ended its 7-game winning streak Friday, but hoping to bounce back as the team heads to Beale City. And in 8-man action, Posen taking on Rapid River, looking to redeem itself from its Week 2 loss against the Rockets. And like always, tune in to WBKB News at 11 on Friday for highlights and scores from all of these games. Down in Virginia, Jeff Gordon getting his first checkered flag of the season today at Martinsville. This is his 8th career win at the track, but first since sweeping the 2 races back in 2005. Matt Kenseth led the race with 202 laps, but was passed by Gordon with 21 laps remaining. He is, however, in first place in the Chase standings with more wins than Jimmy Johnson, who is currently in second, while Jeff Gordon rounds out the top 3. And in case you missed it last night or were just out having some Halloween fun, the World Series got even crazier last night, giving the Cardinals a 1-game series lead with a 5-4 win. St. Louis took the early lead in the game, but Boston was able to tie it in the 4th. In the 8th, but in the bottom of the 9th, a wild throw caused Red Sox third baseman Will Middlebrooks to get in the way of Alan Craig, who was trying to run home, resulting in an obstruction call and ultimately a walk-off win. And going into Game 4, the Red Sox weren't very happy with that call, and the Cardinals still looking to get a good win tonight. Not much of a nail-biter. St. Louis got the first hit, but in the top of the 6th, outfielder Johnny Gomes hit a 3-run homer to give Boston a 4-1 lead. And last time I checked, it was still the same score in the top of the 8th. Moving to hockey, the Red Wings losing to the Rangers last night for the first time in 14 years. The clubhouse has won every game against New York since January 1999, but a last-second goal in overtime gave the Rangers something to celebrate about. The Red Wings have lost 4 straight games after winning 6 of their first 8. The team heads to Vancouver on Wednesday, where they'll start their 4-game road stretch.
They got on top of us, and in today's day and age in the NHL, when one team's pressing and the other team's sort of on their heels, it's tough to get out of that funk.
There's no consistency in our play, and it doesn't look like we're wearing the other team out. Having a 4-game road trip's perfect for us, but we got to get way better defensively, way better in our own zone, and way better at taking care of the puck.
And that World Series game is still in the 8th with Boston leading 4-2. But during the game, Tigers' Miguel Cabrera was named a recipient of the Hank Aaron Award for Most Outstanding Offensive Player in the American League. And he finished with 44 home runs this season. So very nice. Well-deserved award for him.
All right, well, coming up next on WBKB News at 11, visitors from all over are heading to Illinois to check out an award-winning haunted house. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying tuned. People are filing in to get their scare on at one of Illinois' award-winning haunted houses in Orland Park. With a 1,500-pound crypt, a life-size carriage horse, and a mummy tomb, visitors are sure to feel the Halloween spirit. The owner, Yvonne Shirley, has been decorating her home for more than a decade, 14 years to be precise. Shirley says it's over the top. They've been called the Rolls-Royce of Halloween and the mini Disneyland of Orland. She says she loves to see the kids' faces and even the older people that come to visit. Each year it seems to get bigger and better, or worse, depending on your perspective. Now Yvonne is adding a lively twist with live actors who are all theater students at a local high school. People come from Michigan, Indiana, and Wisconsin to see the display. Looks like a fun time.
I couldn't handle it.
You
I
couldn't
got
do
scared
it?
away too quickly.
See, I haven't been to a haunted house yet.
Well, there's
and
one
I really
in
want to.
Alpena,
I know, we
think.
need to check it out.
All right, remember, you can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on more news items online.
Visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
Or add us on Facebook at facebook.com/WBKBTV.
That will do it for tonight's show. We'll both be back here tomorrow morning on 11.3, so be sure to tune in then. Enjoy the rest of your night.